Football Experience UCLA Bruins 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com. But when you do that, use our promo code TCESGPN over at Underdog Fantasy. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
This is Jim Mora, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
College Football Experience UCLA Bruins 2025 season preview. It is interesting times in Westwood, and just kind of a fascinating team with the offseason headlines of bringing in Nico Iamaleava, something like that. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Get on over there, hit that like and subscribe. We're breaking down all 136 FBS teams with the solo podcast for each and every team in the land. You can listen to this on the audio side too, whatever platform you use there. Just type it in and boom, you'll get us. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Woo! Bruin football. Great friend Randy Cross, great friend of the show. He was all on board with DeShaun Foster. He wanted Chip Kelly out, he told us last season. He said, as a former Bruin, we don't want no stinking Chip Kelly. We got one of our own with DeShaun Foster. And I'll be honest, a couple weeks in, I was like, I don't know about you, Randy, but then you saw.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
And the team fought for DeShaun, so I'm excited for year two. I am joined by my co-host. He is also the host of the College Basketball Experience. When the season goes live, we're live every night of the season, but also in the meantime, in the off season, we're always talking college hoops. UCLA, come on. Some say you're the king of college hoops. John Wooden, all right? New Big Ten, I don't know where you're at on that, fans, but exciting times. Check out the College Basketball Experience. But give it up for former Stafford, Austin Peay with the Governors, South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and West Virginia with the Mountaineers, Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Moneyline Mac. How are you, brother?
What is up, man? Yes, UCLA, year two in the Big Ten, year two DeShaun Foster. Let's talk about it.
Mac tonight. Come on, make it Mac tonight.
And we did our coach rankings episodes. Go listen to the Big Ten coach rankings. But I was impressed with DeShaun Foster after he turned that corner. Now, I mean, out the gate, I know we had the whole with LA. We're in Los Angeles, California. Many don't know us. That shit didn't go over well, but I thought he owned it well. And after that, they looked terrible for the first month of the season, but they did turn that corner. And the team fought hard for him. I was impressed on the stretch of the team's toughness and will, and it gave me optimism moving forward with DeShaun Foster as their head coach. How about you?
Absolutely. It really turned a corner, I thought, early October. The game at Penn State, I know they lost that game, but they were competitive. They fought. They competed, basically, and then they almost beat Minnesota, and then all of a sudden they went to Rutgers and Nebraska and won back-to-back road games, which I thought was stunning, and then beat Iowa, another physical team. So turned it around 5-7. Now we see if they can make a jump into a bowl. And they were in the headlines this offseason.
Oh, I mean, it's always been a mystery to me why. I mean, we talked about Randy Cross. You know, UCLA great in the 70s. Well, Randy Cross played under Dick Vermeil, right? Dick Vermeil had UCLA rolling. You know, Terry Donahue had it kind of going too. But I have gone to UCLA for screenwriting, right? And that campus is fucking amazing. You're on the west side of LA. It's incredible. You play at one of the greatest stadiums. I mean, I think it's the best. Like, my favorite stadium is the Sun Bowl, but if you're telling me there's one other, and we'll get to the stadium, but like the Rose Bowl is fucking incredible. Why it's been not, you know, mind numbing why this program isn't awesome nonstop, because you're in Los Angeles. Your uniforms are awesome. Like, what is the downside of it? Oh, that you're not on a stadium on campus? Who cares? You have the Rose Bowl. You're the fucking Rose Bowl. Like, there's no downside of it. You just have to care about football again, like you did way back in the day. And Randy Cross knows that. He's talked to us about it. It's just kind of one of those things. I don't understand why, but maybe DeShaun Foster's the guy to get it going. What do you make of that?
Why can't they be USC? I know they don't have the as rich history, obviously, as USC. The guys that have, but they got dudes that have come through, played at UCLA, played in the NFL, won Super Bowls.
Aikman, Ken Norton. Yeah. I mean, you can go Wendell Tyler. You can go on and on and on about how they have a lot of greats in their program history too. But fucking Jackie Robinson, yeah.
And I mean, maybe it was just because they were so good in basketball for so long that they just took a back seat in football, but with all this NIL era, man, they should be able to be USC now.
I agree. You hear that? You hear that, Trojan fans?
Yeah. USC, UCLA, baby. Let's
go. All right. Folks, we're going to talk more about DeShaun Foster in a second, but I want to let you know that you are listening to the College Football Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and you want to check us out because you're brought to you by us. Pick Dundee, Moneyline Mac, previewing 136 FBS college football teams. You don't want to miss out on this stuff. So subscribe, tell a friend. All right. And remember, as always, to let it ride. All right. We are back and, let's jump into it. Yeah. Matt's talking about the 98 team with Cade McCown. They got robbed that year, actually, if we're going to bring that up. So there was a hurricane week 2 or 3 in Miami. So they pushed that game, and UCLA, being the fucking men that they were, UCLA was undefeated, Mac. They could have said, no, we don't need to reschedule. But they said, you know what? And this is before like conference championship games. They said, no, we'll play you on December. It was like December 5th or something. Right?
I can't believe they played that game.
Well, and then they got hosed. I mean, now Edgerrin James did run for like 400 yards against them that game. But there was a critical play in that game. I think it was Danny Farmer, the wide receiver, that fumbled. And he was clearly down, and there was no replay. So I actually think UCLA would have won that game had that call gone correctly. They would have been undefeated. They would have been playing for a national championship. But regardless, kudos to UCLA for not bitching out and knowing that that's a top 10 team or top 15 team and still playing that game. You could have canceled and played in the national championship. A lot of people don't talk about this enough, and they will say that was dumb of them. I respect it. So UCLA, there you go. All right. Now, sure, you could have had a natty.
I know. It's like
might have helped. But Cade McNown was phenomenal. Bob Toledo running things back then. They had Skip Hicks. They had a Freddie Mitchell. It was a good team. Look, let's start the slides here, man. We got this. Look at those Fire logo, Fire uniforms. They always do it right there. DeShaun Foster, 5-7 in 2024, but we just said good things about him. I think they're okay for the future. Now, does that mean he's going to be getting a natty this year? No, but I think that hire, you know, we just previewed Brent Key the other day, and that wasn't a sexy hire. It was kind of like they gave him the interim gig. He did good enough where they're like, fuck, I guess we should keep him. Same thing kind of with Dabo Swinney. Was not a sexy hire at the time. People wanted Bud Foster. He was the final interview. Sometimes that works out, man. Sometimes that works out. Could DeShaun Foster be that guy moving forward, Mac?
If they continue to embrace the identity, I mean, you talked about those guys, all those guys, well, especially Brent Key is played there, knows Georgia Tech, and same with DeShaun Foster here at UCLA. knows the culture, knows the program, and he's a proud Bruin. I mean, you could just see it with the way he carries himself and handles himself. So, yeah, I mean, he overcame that tough press conference to start the career, but I mean, ever since then, I mean, hey, they're heading in the right direction, in my opinion. They got an identity.
Yeah, I agree. DB Cooper saying in the chat he thinks he's the guy. Come be a part of the chat, folks. Let us know how you feel. The offense. Eric Bieniemy no longer the OC. Fired. They get out of here. They bring in Tino Sunseri from Indiana and James Madison. Prior to Indiana, he was at JMU. He was part of that magic at JMU. Part of that magic at Indiana, Mac. He's got some magic to work on because they were 126th in scoring offense, 47th in passing offense, 132nd in rush offense. There was only 134 teams, and 118 in total offense. Mac, well, Tino Sunseri. I know we're going to preview the. Let me preview these before.
Yes,
I ask
it will because they'll attempt to run the ball, unlike with Bieniemy.
Yes,
well, I don't know what Bieniemy's problem is wherever he goes,
and he's a running back. Even more confusing. They only bring back 2 starters on the offensive side of the ball, both on the line of scrimmage. Though I think if you had to tell me that besides quarterback, that'd probably be where I want to go. So. Two back in Garrett DiGiorgio and Ruben Unje. I got no idea what I'm doing here, guys. But they did go to the portal to bring in Nico Iamaleava, leaving Tennessee. And also, I love how this counts as a transfer. Madden Iamaleava from Arkansas. Does that count? He spent a semester at Arkansas, got paid. Sure.
Sounds like a Ponzi scheme or something.
Also brought in Pierce Clarkson from Ole Miss. 3 quarterbacks coming in. I do like this kid here. Javian Thomas from Cal, I thought flashed. Anthony Woods also from Utah, who is on the schedule this year. Also, wide receiver Mikey Matthews, who started at Cal last year. Had a pretty good season for them. Also, they bring in Jaden Wilson from Arkansas and Caden Robinson from App State. He was good at App State. Tight end Jake Renda from Pitt. You got to like that there, Mac. And then the offensive line. That's what they addressed. They said, let's go get a Rich Rod guy. K.D. Arnold from Jacksonville State comes in. Also, Cortland Ford from Kentucky. Eugene Brooks from Oklahoma. And Julian Armella from Florida State. So, yes, Mac, I will go back to asking you, is the offense going to be better this year?
I think so. I think Sunseri's a good coach. I mean, he comes from that JMU Indiana tree where we just saw them be able to flip that in just 1 year and sustain success with Cignetti. I think they're going to be more balanced. I like the 2 backs that they got. Thomas coming over from Cal, 2-year starter, averaged 6 yards a carry. And then Woods, he didn't really play. He didn't play at Utah, but he was over 1,000-yard rusher at Idaho, the Bengals.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, he's
Idaho State. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. No. Idaho, the Vandals.
Okay. That's right. Yeah.
Don't let the Idaho people see that clip. They'll fucking shoot me. But yeah, it's that's a good rivalry. But yeah, I mean those 2 backs and then the kid from Cal as well, Mikey Matthews. So they're bringing over all the Cali boys, led by Nico. And we should. I know Nico taking the pay cut and all that bullshit, but he still started in the college football playoff last year. He
has raw skills now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of split on this myself. Is like. Coming into this projection, I was like, do I want to fade them because that could be a distraction? But I'm also like, he's from there. He's going to feel more comfortable being at home.
I think he's going to be all right there. I think UCLA fits him, to be honest.
Yeah. What are you really saying?
Well, I tell you what, he likes paying taxes. That's why he went back out to LA.
That's true.
Somebody tell him 2.5 in LA is not as much as 4 in Tennessee.
Yeah, but you know what he might have. You know what might have been the problem? This.
The only thing on my mind, Gene, was pussy.
Possible. Everyone always sometimes us as the media, I hate referring to myself as media because I hate the media, but sometimes we're just making fun of everything and you're not factored in the old classic tale of vagina. You know what I mean? It could just be that simple. He didn't care about the money. He's like, I'm gonna be rich regardless. And I love her, man. Right? I think that's what it could be. The defense. Well, first Nico, 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Let's talk about that. But if he is more comfortable, now you could make the case that Tennessee would have been better without him last year. You could make that case, like with a different quarterback. But I do think it's a step up from Ethan Garbers, if I'm being honest.
Is he better than Aguilar?
That's going to be a great question. That's a fascinating development of college football. Because in the portal, they had brought in Joey Aguilar from App State, who had some pretty fire seasons there in Boone. And now he's at Tennessee, so it was a trade. I think it's going to be a fascinating question to see. So, I don't know. Nico, though, definitely has raw skills that Aguilar does not have. Jalen Berger is the running back, by the way, former 5-star out of New Jersey. It hasn't worked out for him. He was at Wisconsin first, then Michigan State with Midnight Mel Tucker. And for some reason, it hasn't worked out for him. But now he's getting a shot. And DeShaun Foster is a former running back. College fantasy players, I think there might be value in Jalen Berger. If he ends up getting the start, I think I misspelled his last name here because I was hungry. But, yeah, let's go. The defensive side of the ball, as I was alluding to, pretty solid numbers considering the beginning of the season. Like if you subtract the first month of the season, their numbers are pretty fucking good. They were 68th in scoring defense, 108th in pass defense, 6th in the nation in rush defense. UCLA, a top 10 rush defense. What? That baffled. Overall, top 40 defense, number 39 in the nation. Mac, I'm kind of amazed at these numbers.
Well, especially because they played Iowa, they played Rutgers, they played Nebraska, they played teams that run the ball. Well, I don't know.
Teams that are offensively challenged too, though. You're like Iowa, Rutgers. Now I understand how this is a classic example of like everyone shits on the Pac-12 back then. They don't play any defense. Well, look, UCLA jumps in your conference, takes on all your terrible fucking offenses, and they're a top 40 defense. They didn't even have a winning record. They're a top 40 defense.
And they played LSU and Oregon and Penn State. So, I mean, they played all these teams. Yeah, I'm kind of amazed that they were a top 10 rush defense last year. So, yeah, but it goes back to what we saw just from the naked eyes. They looked tougher. I thought that they would get punked coming into the Big Ten. They didn't. They held their own, and I think Foster did a good job creating that identity.
Yeah, it's got me buying in now. Let's see who's returning. Oh, we got one starter back.
It's a fucking little team, isn't it, man?
Well, I'll say this: there is more than one starter if you count starters from other teams because they went to the portal. But one guy for UCLA who started for them last year was their D tackle, Siale Taupaki. I don't know. All right. I don't know. All right. These it's like when I do the BYU preview, man, I just need lots of bourbon that night. All those Pacific Islanders, I can't fucking pronounce your names. You're great fucking people, but god damn it. I need like, you guys got to school me. I need to go to a fucking a camp where I can learn. All right. But one starter back on the defensive side of the ball for UCLA. They went out in the portal and they attacked that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Nico, they got another Nico. Nico at offense. Yo, we got a Nico at offense and a Nico on defense. Nico Davalier from Arkansas. Anthony Jones on the defensive line from Michigan State, who's on the schedule. Keyshawn Bennett from Michigan. Hey, anytime you get a Michigan defensive guy, that's a win. Ashton Sanders on the D line from Oklahoma. Linebacker Isaiah Chisholm from Oregon State. He's good too. Cornerback Robert Stafford from Miami. Cornerback Roderick Pleasant from Oregon. Cornerback Jameer Johnson from Indiana. Cornerback Aaron Williams from Louisville. Cornerback Scooter Jackson from Utah Tech. Going deep sea diving. Also, cornerback Andre Jordan from Oregon State. Safety Ben Perry from Louisville. Safety Cole Martin from Arizona State. Safety Key Lawrence from Ole Miss. That guy's been everywhere. Long snapper Morrow Evans from Ohio State. Don't forget about the long snapper. And then punter Will Carroll from Tulane. Mac, here's the thing. If you look at all that, if you factor in starting at other schools, they would return 6 starters on defense.
Yeah.
So the question is, will the defense be better than 39th in the nation this year?
Pass defense, yes. I think the run defense is going to take a little bit of a step back. I mean, top 10 is another tall task, especially with just all the moving parts. But I mean, they invested in that secondary. The guys, both the pair from Oregon and Oregon State. I mean, they went to the Civil War to add some depth there. And then Johnson from Indiana as well. So, yeah, this is they invested in the defense. I mean, they brought in all Power 4 transfers basically from that list.
Yeah, and then Scooter from Utah Tech. Everyone else, Power 4 transfers.
Yeah. Dixie.
Yeah, it makes it tricky. I think that I'm going to say, obviously, the pass defense will be vastly improved. Rush defense, I'm with you. Regression. Total defense. Now, that's the thing. The schedule last year was pretty fucking insane, if I may say so. I thought the schedule was one of the hardest schedules in college football last year. And so I think it's a little easier this year. So I am going to say they're going to be a top 40 defense again. Mainly because I think, well, they don't have Rutgers and Iowa on the schedule, but I do believe they have Northwestern and Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska's offense, I guess, could be all right, but I don't know. I think right around that 40 mark. So, we're going to talk about the state of the program in a second here. But before I do that, I want to let you know that the college football experience is brought to you by Circa, the ultimate fantasy football giveaway. Do you play fantasy football? Yes, you do. So why are you not entering this? Circa Resort and Casino, the largest sports book in the world in downtown Las Vegas, is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for the entire stay. They're going to pick you up from the airport in a limo. Trust me, that will not be a dry limo. A $5,000 food and beverage tab at Stadium Swim, where you can host your draft. And if you haven't seen Stadium Swim, it's fucking phenomenal. A hotel stay for you and your 11 league mates as well, plus 2 other bar deals, all for free. Yes, you enter the Ultimate Fantasy Football Contest for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's CIRCA. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. Also, in case you don't win, or you just are, you're going to Vegas or any of the Circa properties. There's Reno, and I think they got one in Illinois. Maybe you just want to go there because they're awesome. We're going to give you 15% off at any time with the promo code SGP15. So do that and let it ride. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup, College Baseball World Series, and they got college football win totals. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations as well. You can easily deposit, get lightning fast payouts using crypto. So head on over to MyBookie.ag. But when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right. State of the program, Mac, is it's my favorite part of this show. Like to see the trajectory. Where do we think their program's going? Up, down. But also, part of state of the program is stadiums. And when I think of college football, the creator of the sport of football, they stay true. We might have some wacky shit going on with UCLA in the Big Ten. Right? But at least we stay true to playing at great fucking stadiums. And we don't ditch the history. You know where I'm going, buddy. The Rose Bowl. Stadium?
Yeah.
The Rose Bowl, which I have got kicked out of before. some people like I think Kirk Herbstreit said they should play the national championship at the Rose Bowl every year, and some people push back. But I am on board. If you've been to the Rose Bowl, it is awesome. It is unique. I can't believe we had the national championship a couple years ago. Remember when Georgia beat the shit out of TCU? We had the national championship at SoFi Stadium. And you're sitting there like, man, you got two of the greatest football venues within 20 miles. Rose Bowl, empty that night. LA Coliseum, empty that night. And we're playing this bullshit at SoFi. The Rose Bowl is everything that football should be. If you haven't been, make it a trip. I know LA's expensive. Fuck a walk of fame. Go to the Rose Bowl. All right. This is college football. This is sacred to me. My favorite stadium is the Sun Bowl, but I think if I had to pick a second, it would be this right here. Mac, you gotta go, buddy. You got.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
That and the Coliseum. I want to go to the Coliseum as well.
Matt, how do you get kicked out of the Rose Bowl? It's you drink a shit ton of alcohol, and you start rooting. It's funny. I rooted for UCLA too hard. They're not used to UCLA fans, and they were playing LSU, and I rooted for UCLA very obnoxiously. I actually was I'm a peaceful drunk too, but LSU. A lot of LSU fans were showing up there, and I rooted for UCLA very hard, and to the point where they kicked me out.
That was a game where Coach O showed up and was talking shit to UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, dude, UCLA, it's a wine and cheese crowd. Now, it doesn't matter to me. The Rose Bowl is the Rose Bowl. That's not the Rose Bowl's fault. All right. But this stadium, if you haven't been, is incredible. I mean, look at that view. This is just everything great about college football, and just it's over 100 years old. It's been protected. They've put money into the fucking thing. Look at that stealth bomber going over the fucking Rose Bowl game between Michigan and Alabama.
That was an unbelievable game.
Look at that, man. I didn't put that in a filter for Instagram or some shit. You know what I mean? That's a real photo. I mean, this is just an amazing stadium. It's just so unique. Look, they got a fucking statue. I think this is Jackie Robinson. I think they have a Jackie Robinson statue. I believe that's it. If not, then it's somewhere there. They got that UCLA helmet car out front you can take a photo into. It is just an awesome state. Look at that shit too. It's just royal, regal. It's this, like, you feel like you're in like 1920 when you go there. That's the way I would say, without the racism. All right. So I highly recommend going out there and checking a game. Mac, what do you give this thing 1 to 10?
10. It's the granddaddy of them all, baby.
Yeah, Keith Jackson, the granddaddy of them all. Just a phenomenal stadium. So look, they got this classic stadium. They got a former guy running the program. They got Nico. They won the sweepstakes, stayed in the program. Am I crazy for giving it a 7 out of 10? Because I'm like, wait, part of my logic on this, I know they're coming off a losing season, but part of my logic was they rode USC's coattails into the Big Ten. They wouldn't have got that invite. And I know that Big Ten money with that new TV contract kicks in. So I'm like, wait a second. They're going to get all this money. They got into the party. You could argue they probably shouldn't have been invited to the party, but they got in. They're in the party.
They're in LA.
That's what I'm saying. They're in the party, and now they're going to be getting a bunch of money. So I just think the sky's the limit. If DeShaun Foster, I almost said DeShaun Jackson, if DeShaun Foster can get it going, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 right now. The location, the stadium, it's all great. What are you doing?
I went 6, just because I need to see him get to a bowl game. He still was a first-year head coach. Yes, I thought they overachieved in the second half, but I need to see it. I need to see just a winning season.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the schedule, because week 1.
Pac-12.
That's what I love about this. Since this series goes back to 1933. They used to have history.
Did you see the kickoff?
No, I didn't. What time is it?
11 p.m. Eastern, Saturday night.
Beautiful. That's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. Utah, Kyle Whittingham, Jason Beck coming into the Rose Bowl just like they used to. Damn it, man. We blew this thing up because Larry Scott was having $50,000 nights in Vegas, making deals with DirecTV, knowing it was a dinosaur. This is a great game. This is like a low-key, really good week 1 game. I feel like everyone's talking all those other great games. I mean, there's a lot. But I think this is like a low-key, underrated game. But I'm on Utah. Utah goes in Pasadena and gets that dub. What are you doing here?
Yeah, the Utes lost their final game 2 years ago there. Chip Kelly knocked off. I trust Whittingham. Coming off his worst year at Utah, I think he's going to have that defense ready to run through a wall. So I'll go Utah in the opener over Foster here.
It's a great game. I'm going to take Utah too. I just think that Utah's got a little bit more players coming back from a year ago than UCLA.
Yep.
And that continuity, it's hard to get. So I got the Utes getting that done. So UCLA 0-1. Then they make a trip to the Death Star. Perhaps the worst stadium in college football, if you ask me. Allegiant Stadium, where 12 people go. You think UCLA crowds are bad? Go to Vegas.
This game's going to be hilarious.
I actually think UCLA is going to have the crowd because our boy Scott Bowser, shout out to the great Scott Bowser. But there's a bunch of LA people that live in Vegas. UCLA is going to have the crowd, I think.
I think so too.
Dan Mullen. Now, this is like kind of puzzling. You have so many new players on at UCLA. You got Dan Mullen at UNLV. I'm going to take UCLA just because I think Mullen, you're installing a new offense, new defense. Give me the Bruins, but what are you doing here?
I think I'm going to go UCLA. I think they're farther along. I know everybody loves UNLV still, but a lot of turnover. UCLA gets a win, and I think you're right. I think that they will have maybe a little bit of a home field advantage here.
Yeah. It's so dumb.
That's embarrassing when UCLA takes over here.
You had Sam Boyd Stadium that was like off the strip. So it was like old school Vegas people would go there. And you traded in for this shit that says like Raiders at the 50-yard line. And where it's like you're counting on the tourism money. Ultimate fail. Like one of the worst fails. Sam Boyd's a fucking classic too. 1-1. Then Jason Eck in New Mexico come in. This is a sneaky game. I was thinking about this game.
Friday night.
This is a sneaky game just because I feel like it's a sleepy game, right? I know they got a bye. The only thing that saves it is there's a bye after it. So I will take UCLA, but I think New Mexico, Jason Eck almost got Oregon at Idaho last year. He brought in like 50 transfers. Just saying. Might be better than we think it is, but yeah, I'll take UCLA.
I got UCLA as well, 2-1. Too much for Eck this early on.
Yeah. Then we got a nice bye week. I like that old Bruins logo there on the left. I got to go back to that. Great uniforms too. Come out of the bye week and they head to that makeshift Lakeside Stadium that I'm kind of fascinated by. I mean, I was super pissed off they got rid of Ryan Field, which was a classic, but they have this makeshift stadium in Northwestern or in Evanston, Illinois. That is pretty awesome. They should stay there. It's like 10 feet from a fucking lake. It's or Lake Michigan, I think it is. I feel like I should go to a game this year because I think that we only have one more year of this. This series does go back to 1931. Northwestern went out and got Stone, the quarterback from SMU that had that magical comeback against Nevada a season ago. Two hotshot 5-star quarterbacks going at it. I'll take UCLA to win this game, but I don't feel great about this one.
It's not cold yet for Nico. So yeah. The water may be cold, so don't fall in that lake right there. I want to see a fan fall in.
Dude, are you kidding me? That's what's great about it.
This strong, it just falls over the bleachers.
Dude, these fucking idiots too. Northwestern every November, last year and this year, they think that football shouldn't be played that close to the lake, so they move their games to Wrigley, which turn out to be home games for the away team because they're like, wait, we get to go to Wrigley Field, which I love. And I love playing a football game at like you can't tell the history of football without games at like Wrigley Field and Yankee Stadium and Fenway. So it's cool to pay homage, but you're also shooting yourself in your foot because they turn into road games. It's like just play a non-con game at Wrigley and then use that advantage. Can you imagine the wind right off of that lake? That I guarantee you Northwestern would win more games if they did that because when hotshot Ohio State comes in trying to pass the ball over the field, they're gonna have to go to plan B because they win.
They did that like 3 years ago. The game was like 17-3.
I know, and that was at Ryan Field. This is closer to the lake. They're so dumb. How can you be such a smart institution, quote unquote, and be so dumb when your handicap should be that? But I have UCLA winning the game, yes. So I will say 3-1.
I do too. 3-1.
Yeah. Now the Penn State Nittany Lions come into the Rose Bowl in a series that goes back to the 60s. I will take Penn State.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
This is going to be a home game for Penn State.
Yes.
I remember how many Penn State fans were at that damn USC game last year?
Well, a trip to LA. Are you kidding me? And you just have a ton of, as someone that lived in LA 20 years, a ton of Midwestern people live in LA. I feel like it's more than you realize. Penn State rolls. Yes.
Yeah. Penn State's a different animal.
Yeah. Then they head to East Lansing, and I was talking about this pre-episode. This series goes back to 1954, but why do I feel like they're going to lose this game? Like I feel like this was one of the harder games for me. I'm going to take Sparty.
I got Sparty too. I think they're going to take a jump in year 2 of Jonathan Smith. I think he's a good coach, and this is when it starts getting a little bit colder here. This is the Nico factor. Nico doesn't like that cold. We saw him in that Ohio State game.
That's true. He's terrible in that game. Yeah.
He didn't. He looked disinterested. And it wasn't just because of that pass rush, because of the weather. Sparty, I think, knocks him off here. I got him 3-3.
Yeah, we're on the same page here. Then after that, they host Mike Loxley and Maryland. I nominate this. I will. You know how like Hollywood does the raspberries for like the worst movies. I will release. I'm going to write up an article on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Remind me, but I will do this of the worst college football games of the season. This will be in the top 5. I guarantee you that. You could give me free tickets. You could actually give me, if you told me I had to go to the game, you could give me free airfare, free tickets. And if it was just a turnaround, because like obviously I lived in LA for 20 years, so hanging out with friends would be enticing. But if you told me I couldn't hang out with my friends and I had to go strictly out for this game, I would say no thank you. I honestly would say no thank you. I have no desire. Honestly, I have 8 TVs here in my studio. This will not be on one of them. You know what I mean? Like unless it's like the last game at night and there's only 3 on. This game sucks, but I will take UCLA to win this game.
I'll take UCLA, especially if we got them dropping back-to-back games.
Yeah. I mean, this has to be potentially the worst game of the season. I'm serious. I'd rather watch like Houston Baptist against fucking Valpo in the FCS. Like this has got to be the worst game of the season.
There's just no history or like there's nothing that these two can connect to one another. One's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast. Here's a conference game, and I'm sure they'll put it on the Big Ten Network.
Yeah, I mean, this is just
put it on Peacock.
How do you sell this to your fans? Like, the Rose Bowl's a great stadium, but it's like there's a million things to do in LA, and it's like, you know what? You should come to the Maryland UCLA game. No, I think I'll go see Rambo 12 instead. You know what I mean? Like
Put this on Peacock.
Yeah, it's there's the on the list of things in LA to do. Honestly, this would be so far down. This would be like I would go to a lot of other things in LA before this game. And I'm talking like if they gave me free tickets. Pretty fucking far down. But Matt, the difference is Northwestern plays by a fucking lake. So it's actually kind of cool. Right? If it was Northwestern at their stadium next year, we could talk. But this and to me, like Northwestern's a traditional Big Ten team. Big Ten and Pac-10 had like a long history. That's why they had the alliance. You might have heard of it. But Maryland's an ACC team in the fucking Big Ten. The ACC and Big Ten do not have that history. It's just this is a fish out of water. This just does not make sense. But yeah, you going Bruins, Mac?
Yeah, I'm not picking Maryland. Maryland sucks.
Then they head to Bloomington. They played Indiana for the first time ever in football last year.
Sunseri game.
Yeah, I'm kind of fascinated by this one, but I will take Indiana because it's going to be cold as shit. I'm all over Indiana to win this one. What are you doing here?
Yeah, this plays right into our weather angle here. Indiana rolls. So
Yeah.
what? 4-4 for both of us.
Yeah. So it's a tricky thing down the stretch. Let's see what we can do. Another bye week after Signetti gets them. Then they are hosting Dylan Raiola and Nebraska. I will take Nebraska. I'm kind of high on Nebraska this year. Dana Holgerson got full command of that offense. Remember, he was hired like November 5th or something. The series goes back to 1946. Give me these Cornhuskers to get this thing done, to go into UCLA and get that done. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I had this one circled for Nebraska. Revenge game. They dropped the game at home last year. You know Nebraska fans are going to be fired up to travel out to LA. They're going to be like, get us out of Nebraska, get to the sunshine. And I think Nebraska gets it done.
There's a lot of Nebraska fans in Vegas. There's like multiple Nebraska bars in Vegas. I'm surprised by that. I think they'll make that journey. They'll probably drive the 3 hours or 45-minute flight. I'm on the Huskers there. Then they head to the Horseshoe to take on Ohio State.
Oh God.
They will lose this game. Nico back there again. Have fun, buddy.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. Poor Nico's got to go back to Columbus,
back to the scene of the crime. What did he throw for, like a 96 yards or something like that?
Yeah, they're gonna get fucked up. Ohio State rolls.
Yeah. So what's that put us at right now?
4-6. They need the last two to get to a bowl.
Well, they are hosting Jed Fish and Washington. This is tricky to me.
I kind of think
I think I want to take Washington because it's a look ahead because you got the crosstown rivalry going on deck. This series goes back quite a ways, 1932. It's an old Pac-10 game. I will take Washington, but I do think this is kind of a coin flip game. If you're building the case for UCLA making a bowl, I would say between this and maybe that Michigan State game or the Utah game, like these are pivotal games for the bowl. I will take Washington, though. What are you doing here?
I think Washington's going to be a nice bounce back team this year. I actually thought Fish did a decent job last year as well. Yeah, give me Washington. Give me Washington.
And then we have the Crosstown Classic, UCLA, USC, LA Coliseum, legendary venue. Series goes back to 1929. Mac, this is the hard part of this game, this thing here, this projection. If USC does struggle this year, there is a shot that Lincoln Riley is not coaching this game. Which, when you have games like that, when you're projecting, it is very hard because then you could have the ultimate quit. You have half the team in the portal. Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen. So I will take USC. But It is certainly on the table. I don't feel that confident about it. I'll tell you that. USC might fire Lincoln Riley, even if he's like still has a winning record, but they want to get ahead of the coaching cycle. It's a dangerous spot to feel confident about USC winning this game. But I will take USC. But I don't feel very good about it.
I think I'm higher on USC than you. So yeah, I got USC. UCLA finishes 4-8 after being 4-3. So I think we
both have them at 4-8.
Yeah, we had them losing the last 5. So they kind of tanked.
Well, the win total is 5.5. Woo!
That schedule's hard, man.
Dude, well, one of the things I love about UCLA is they don't play FCSs. They did, I think, 1 year for like NC Central. But prior to that, they hadn't played an FCS ever. And they went back to those ways. It's funny. The Utah, UNLV, and New Mexico in the non-con, it's like they're in the Mountain West in the early 2000s. I mean, you're right. I mean, every team, there's no 100% gimme. I mean, probably New Mexico, but I think Eck will have New Mexico flirting with the bowl. So, like, okay, besides New Mexico, every other game is tricky. I mean, I don't know. Maryland could beat them too. Like, what the fuck do I like? Maryland's a weird team.
We also don't know what the Nico thing's going to look like.
Yeah. Rob Donaldson saying he's all over UCLA. He likes them to get 7 wins. Now, you can build that case. That's the thing that's interesting about this one. When I was previewing this before we went live and stuff, I was like, my ceiling is 8-4, but also my floor is 2-10.
Yeah.
Like, if they could start off 4-0, dude, they get that Utah game, then at UNLV and Mullen's still figuring it out. Then New Mexico, then you get a bye week, and then you head Lakeside.
They could be 4-0.
4-0 heading into that Penn State game. And if you lose the Penn State game, you get Michigan State, and then you get Maryland. You could be 6-1. You could be 6-1 and momentum being a fucking thing. I mean, I really think they could be 8-4. I don't think it's that crazy, but I also think they have 3 returning starters. So,
and another nugget. All 5 of their wins last year were by 1 score. Their margin of error isn't that big. I mean, they should have lost to fucking Hawaii week 1. That was a miracle that they pulled that game.
That was.
And even Fresno, they beat Fresno by 1 score. And Fresno wasn't even good last year.
Yeah, they had the coach situation. So yeah, you're right. I mean, they also could be 2-10. Like, where do you feel like, to me, like the most probable wins on the schedule are what? New Mexico and probably Northwestern, right?
Yeah. I would be surprised if they beat Utah week 1. Utah coming off their worst year in forever. Whittingham's going to have those dudes ready. That program's in a bad mood this whole offseason.
I do like Utah to get them that game, but I'm on the under. You locking this?
I'm locking it. Yeah, I don't think that they're getting to a bowl. Even though we talked up DeShaun Foster, there's too many. I see this going south rather than north here.
I'm not gonna lock it because I could see it working out, but I don't think they're contending or anything. But I will take the under. I'm not gonna lock it, but Moneyline Mac is lock it up. These Bruins under 5.5 wins. And I mean, and also, folks, I want to remind you that the college football experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's going long for the NBA Finals with their extended bonus. Look, the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonuses get. So hop on over there, sign up, and when you do, use our promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. You probably heard me talk Rhythm before. They just dropped a game-changing new feature called Power Trends. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's models have consistently won and has a very high ROI. Think like a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. And their updated daily Power Trends are. So, let me tell you, they're exclusive to Rhythm and Rhythm only. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Check them out. Get your free 7-day trial period today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Moneyline Mac, lock it up. UCLA under. I'm going to take the under, but I'm not going to lock it up. But Mac, let me ask you this question: if UCLA goes 4-8, like you say, DeShaun Foster will then be 9-15 as a head coach.
Be a little warm in year 3.
I know. And they get, and here's what's crazy. They get that new Big Ten money coming in.
Yeah.
So it changes things. They went from kind of broke before, like they're getting a big ass check with that new deal. So I know they owe Cal some of that money, but I don't know.
He's still a young coach. Like, I think that's the other factor. This still is only his second year as a head coach. So it takes, I mean, you're going against guys like Whittingham, Mullen, Franklin. I know Franklin people.
Jonathan Smith. Yeah.
Yes,
Smith's a good coach.
Pignetti, Rule, Day, Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley's been in the playoff. Like, Jed Fish was 10-2 one year. I mean, he's going against a lot of experienced coaches. Notice how I left off Loxley.
Yeah, not the greatest. Folks, that is our show. Now, next up for us, which is going to be tricky because I fly, speaking of UCLA, I fly to LA tomorrow. So I'm not sure. I think we're going to try to get one in tomorrow. But the next up on the schedule, UTSA and Arizona State. It's going to be a little tricky because the recording schedule is going to pivot, but so it won't be as in tune as these episodes have been. But I think we're going to try to get the Roadrunners done tomorrow night if we can. If not, sometime over the next week you will have. Because I know Max headed to a wedding. UTSA and Arizona State, and then after that we're going to talk West Virginia Mountaineers. So buckle up. We're breaking down 136 teams, 136 episodes. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Also check out the FCS College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience, and the College Baseball Experience. How about UCLA baseball? Very good season. So yes, check us out and enjoy the slideshow here. We got Randy Cross. I put a photo in there of our boy. So yeah, turn on those notifications. All right. We're just getting started. Summer's here. Dog days of summer, breaking down all the teams. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Till next time, this is the College Football Experience, UCLA Bruins style. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.
Celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. They say the Lord watches over my sins, over my head, watching hair as it thins. Over the ledge, it ain't letting me in. There's still regiments and relevance to letting me win. Win, lose or draw. You ain't prepared unless you all ready to lose it all. Losing a brawl? Yeah, that's a ride a day. Good friends know my Nina Hideaway. They came and went, but the riders stay. So it's like I won the lottery and can't be found. Until I resurface with the latest purchase. 33 and a third and 45 circles. You ain't got that shit. And I ain't 45 king. But on the beats, I've been doing my thing. I start the program and the doorbell ring. I gotta leave town to a place I can't be found. My celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. American dreams, lessons, and still they work. I guess the sand on the beach still was really dirt. Now I'm going home, flying over Rome at 30,000 feet. Like, damn, is that really Earth? I see the killers work on walls, familiar turf. Got a little school in graph, 101 was first. Got a little school in math, didn't really work. But put the numbers on the block and I make them hurt. Any block is my stomping ground where my people lay low so they can't be found. They don't wanna be, ain't from the crew, but I'm honorary. Liquid, solar 66 to 3. Type of armory that's more than a shield. Type of armories, DeLorean steel. Type of warriors ill. So true to my sound, but dig deep so it can't be found. My celly's off so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down.
It's the revenge of our stealth, the intelligence plane. Bomber, a manifestation of karma. The far left, low keys, let it be. Listen, whispering words of wisdom. Ghost dog, breathe in the shadow of leaves. Same darkness hides criminals, crooks, and thieves. Special forces, black ops. Bad brains, fishbone, black rock. Matter of fact, Chuck Berry and James Brown. But most of the true story can't be found. Unchained melodies inscribed to freestyle. I rock rhyme mosaics more potent with each tile. Crack the system more open with each file. Upgrades and free hotels with these miles. Expansion team dilated peoples in town. If there's a better sound in it,
Can't be found. My celly's off so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down.
You're on the name Beacons. I'm going to tell you about it now.